Today's video is brought to you by Skillshare, and as I'm sure most of you know, Skillshare is a company that I've worked with multiple times and one that I believe in. It's an online learning community that offers membership with meaning. With so much to explore, real projects to create, and the support of fellow creatives, Skillshare empowers you to accomplish your goals. Skillshare is essentially an alternative to the expensive and very time-consuming in-person classes and workshops that creatives sometimes are forced to rely on. The training you get on Skillshare is still exceptional, however, it's much cheaper than pricey in-person workshops, and the classes are designed around your routine. The affordability and the flexibility I think are key, but if you don't believe me, Skillshare will be giving away 2 free months of premium membership to the first 500 people who click the link in the description box to help you explore your creativity, and then after that, it's only about $10 a month. Are you interested in doing what I'm doing for a living? Well, there's a great class on there called YouTube Success. Build an authentic channel that's worth the follow. Basically within, you get tips about content strategy, online presentation, things like SEO and posting schedule, all through a combination of classes and projects. Really interesting, and again, if you want to try out Skillshare for free, you can check the link down in the description, and then after that, it's only $10 a month. Anyway, let's roll the intro. Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another video. Admiral Daala is one of, if not the worst military commanders in all of Star Wars. Every single faction, the Galactic Alliance, the Empire, the Maw Fleet, is made worse by her being in command. Today we'll be doing a quick battle breakdown of Daala's plans to take Coruscant, which, as you can imagine, were really bad. But before we do that, let's take a brief look at her military history up until this point. First of all, I will give her some credit. Daala is often described as being somewhat of a military prodigy. She was a very successful student while at Coruscant. However, because she was a woman, she was often passed up for promotions and recognition. However, when she was discovered by Grand Moff Tarkin, and the two also developed a romantic relationship, she was promoted to Admiral, and to my knowledge is the only female Admiral in Star Wars Legends, and was assigned to a top secret Imperial research facility inside the Maw. The Maw installation was a Tarkin project, unsurprisingly researching super weapons. Those within the Maw cluster were sequestered there for over a decade, where they remained completely cut off from galactic events, and Daala didn't do anything to check up with the Empire after being out of contact for so long. She just accepted it as ordinary procedure. Anyway, eventually Han Solo, through a series of events detailed in Book 1 of the Jedi Academy trilogy, discovers the Maw installation and is taken prisoner. Daala learns of the state of the galaxy, the fall of Tarkin and the Empire, and decides to mobilize her forces, made up of 4 Star Destroyers, against the New Republic. However, she also seeks to activate the state-of-the-art weapons kept within the Maw installation, including the Sun Crusher. However, Daala is unable to secure her facility, and the Sun Crusher is stolen. Despite the super weapon being nearly invulnerable, Daala decides to chase it down with the Star Destroyer, which is unsurprisingly destroyed, as the Sun Crusher literally yeets itself through its command bridge. With the loss of the Star Destroyer, Daala decides she still wants to go against the New Republic and starts picking targets at random. Hoping to injure the government, her first target is literally, and I'm not exaggerating, a few hundred settlers on the planet Dantooine. Afterwards, as an Imperial probe droid is reactivated, she decides to attempt attacking Mon Calamari, and of course is outflanked by the far superior Admiral Ackbar, who recognizes her poor tactics immediately, and of course she loses a second Star Destroyer, with her fleet now down to literally half power and having abandoned the Maw installation and its super weapons. That is where Daala comes up for her excellent plan to attack Coruscant, which of course is now the capital of the New Republic and one of, if not the most important planets in literally the entire galaxy. So what's Daala's plan? Well, let's take a look. As a bit of background, Coruscant had just underwent some tough times, being sieged by Grand Admiral Thrawn and being the site of a massive battle during the early stages of Operation Shadow Hand. Though that being said, even Daala acknowledges, and we know from the other Jedi Academy books, that at this point Coruscant was protected by space docks, space stations, and most likely Golan platforms. It's also, I think, very unlikely that there would not be a fleet in the area. Most importantly, Coruscant was known for having one of the most robust planetary shields in the entire galaxy, and that shield itself is not only a main plot point of the Thrawn trilogy, but also Wedge's gamble, which is all about how to get past the shield generator and take the planet. So what's Daala's plan for taking Coruscant with only 2 Star Destroyers? Well, first off, they'll come out of hyperspace, and then they'll basically just fly straight at the planet and shoot their turbo lasers. I'm not making this up. As we approach in-system, the Basilisk's small volunteer crew will begin a self-destructive countdown. The Gorgon will run interference until we reach our target, at which time we will turn aside. At full speed, the Basilisk will plunge into the atmosphere of Coruscant. It will be unstoppable. Then, basically, the Basilisk will self-destruct, laying waste to Coruscant. And there's only one problem here. That plan is f***ing dumb. First of all, while 2 Star Destroyers is a lot of firepower to throw at a planet like Dantooine, which has no defensive fleet, Coruscant almost certainly has at least some ships defensively, and most likely has Golan defense stations, a local fleet, and most importantly, a planetary shield. She thinks that just because her Star Destroyers have lots of guns, that she can just push through all the New Republic's defenses. Well, I think that's unlikely, especially because 1 Star Destroyer is undermanned, so the turrets won't be nearly as effective. I mean, they come out of hyperspace at Coruscant, and there could be 20 Mon Calamari cruisers and several squadrons of starfighters waiting for them. I don't think that would be strange. What's more, Coruscant has ground-based defenses, it can blow the ships up, and 2 Star Destroyers in the grand scheme of things doesn't represent that much firepower, especially during relatively peaceful times like this, when the New Republic shouldn't have their fleet spread too thinly. But let's just imagine that she's right. She somehow shrugs off all the fire of any ships, any starfighters, any defensive platforms. Well, that still leaves the planetary shield. And we know again from the Thrawn trilogy that planets can get their shields up very quickly. And I'm sorry, but 1 Star Destroyer is not nearly enough to pierce through that. So they try to ram the planet, and they hit the shield, it's game over. Now Daala has 1 Star Destroyer left, if that one's even able to escape. Does Daala have a plan for the shields? No. And it's not like Star Wars writers at this point didn't understand that shields were a thing, because Book 3 of the Thrawn trilogy, The Last Command, focuses very heavily on Coruscant's planetary shields and how they have to keep it up basically throughout the entire book. Fortunately for Daala, Kip Duron and the Sun Crusher kind of prevented her from attacking Coruscant, but we can cover all of that in a later video if you're interested. Now I know what you're thinking, is it really fair to call this the worst planned battle in all of Star Wars? Well, I think so. There are many battles where there's a clear tactical oversight, or there's a stylistic decision which, when examined logically, really makes no sense, but in this battle, there's a total lack of even a basis for how the Empire and how Daala is going to win. She's not analyzed the situation at all, and as we see throughout the series, she's basically making her decisions purely off a desire to hurt the New Republic rather than any attempt to better the position of the Empire, and that's probably why she ends up losing 3 Star Destroyers. So yeah, Daala is just an unmitigated idiot. I think there's very little redeeming about her from a tactical sense. Many of the books talk about how she's very smart and how she was always overlooked for promotions, but she shows very little competence. The only really good thing she does is unify the Imperial warlords later on, but she goes on to lose 1 more of her Star Destroyers. She loses a Super Star Destroyer when attacking Luke's Jedi Temple, and then many years later when she becomes Chief of State of the Galactic Alliance, she basically tears the government apart and is just doing a really bad job. But I can discuss all of that in a later video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think of Admiral Daala. Let me know what you think of the Jedi Academy trilogy if you've read it. And just as a reminder, we do cover these books on TapCaf Transmissions. Last episode we covered book 1 of the trilogy, and this Thursday we will be covering book 2, where most of the events from this video take place.